The PSVR2 is dead, cries the gaming media. PSVR2 has no games, said Dean McCaffney once, a long time ago. The bot-like NPCs parrot these phrases on social media in response to anything you want to post about PSVR2. So I'm here to tell you, the sexy PSVR2 owners, that there are 50 games that we should be very, very excited about. Hello everybody, I'm the once and future Viking, and without wasting any more time, I'd like to jump straight in with those 50 games. Kicking the list off with an absolute banger is Pirates VR The Jolly Roger. This one looks like it might be the VR game of dreams. This will feature a lot of exploration and combat. There'll be lots of treasure hunting, swimming, climbing, and general swashbuckling. This is one to look out for. Lo-fi. This is one of my most anticipated games. This is going to give me all of my cyberpunk dreams in VR. This looks very special, although I don't know too much about this one. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Following on with the sci-fi theme, we have Lon. This one looks incredible. This one's got fantastic physics-based combat. You'll love to see it. I don't know too much about Tempest 84, but with its premise being that you time travel in order to save the world, it has piqued my interest, so this one could be interesting. I've had my eye on the Reese project for quite some time now. It boasts some realistic graphics thanks to its Unreal Engine, and it has a story that centres around a mystery that started in World War II. I'm expecting conspiracy theories galore as I explore around this fully interactable world. The Wanderer, Fragments of Fate. Anybody that's played the original knows exactly why I'm excited for this one. I don't think we really need to talk about this one anymore. Wanderer 2, the sequel to The Wanderer. Only a teaser has been released about this so far, but it looks incredible, and it's the second Pirates-themed game on the list. The Events at Unity Farm, a horror game where you fight mythical creatures using magic. Count me in. Project Louisiana, The Bands. This one gives me some heavy Resident Evil 7 vibes, and seeing as we don't have Resident Evil 7 in PSVR2 currently, this one might scratch that itch. This one features some telekinetic powers and some zombie shooting. Madison VR. With a brand new release date, this one might actually come out this time. And I've never been scared of anything in my life. But with this being the most scientifically scariest game ever created, we'll see if I get scared of this one or not. Following on with the horror theme, we have Phasmophobia. I'll admit I'm not massively into multiplayer games, however this one has piqued my interest. It looks like it might be a lot of fun. And even more horror with New Matter, another game that gives me Resident Evil 7 vibes. Again, this one could be fun. The Exorcist Legion on PSVR 1 was one of the system's best games, so I'm glad to say an upgrade is coming for PSVR 2. And following that we have The Exorcist Legion Sin, a brand new game. This one will have some co-op. Affected, The Asylum. This one is a sequel to Affected the Manor. Aliens. It's said that this is the VR spiritual successor to Aliens Isolation, and that it might be a movie tie-in. Despite being burnt out with zombie content over the last few years, there are a few games coming out that do look interesting. One such game is Requisition VR. It's a bit janky in this footage as it's early, but being able to combine weapons and be in an open world sounds pretty fun. Another zombie game is Survival Nation, a survival game where you have to survive the elements while surviving the zombie apocalypse.
Allow players to get creative during exploration, or simply roleplay as a meat grinder.
Next up is Drunk or Dead 2. Two of my favourite things, drinking and VRing. This one looks like a lot of fun. It looks like the Dead Island game that we never got in VR. This one should be a lot of fun. And number 20 on our list is Zombie Army VR. This one's the Mac Daddy of all of the zombie games coming out. This one's going to boast 120 frames per second and dynamic foveated rendering on day one. So this one is going to be a special one. Leaving the scary behind, but still keeping the creepy factor, at 21 we have Bloody Hell Hotel. As a massive fan of Tim Burton movies, I'm quite excited for this one, because this one looks like it's inspired by all of his movies. Next up we have the very awesome looking Sky Climb. This one looks like a mixture between Fall Guys and Super Mario, with a little bit of Astrobot mixed in for good measure. This one should be a lot of fun. I don't know anything about Ultimate Knockout, other than it will have celebrities fighting one another, so it might be like Celebrity Deathmatch. So presidents will be able to fight other celebrities and things like that. Next up we have Tarzan VR. This game came out on PSVR1 and didn't have the strongest reception. However, PSVR2 seems to make everything better, and if they improve this one, it could be a lot of fun. The combat and the swinging particularly should be quite good. Desperate Vladivostok. Vibrant cel-shaded graphics, ultra-violence, and bullet hell gameplay. Where do I sign up? Retropolis 2. A detective adventure. I recently seen on X that the developers painstakingly animated every single frame by hand. So this one's going to be quite special, I think. Windlands 2. I'm really looking forward to this one. I missed this one on PSVR 1. However, I played the original Windlands and that was incredible. So this on PSVR 2 should be quite the adventure. Rager VR. This one's hot off the press, only just announced for PSVR 2. Imagine Beat Saber but with actual enemies instead of floating orbs or floating squares to smash. This one looks really cool. Samurai Slaughterhouse. This was one of the earliest games reportedly coming to PlayStation VR 2, however it's not here yet. Looking at the art style with its cel-shaded graphics, it kind of reminds me of the old game Afro Samurai. Black Trail. A VR game set in the old Wild West. I've wanted something like this forever. It's maybe not quite the Red Dead Redemption 2 that I would have loved, but this will scratch that itch, I think. Looks incredible. Shooting mechanics look great. Lots of weapons. I think this one could be good. Next up is Firmament. Very nice looking puzzle game. I believe by the makers of Myst. This one looks quite interesting. I like the environments. Be nice to go and explore that world. Utility Room. This one reminds me of the game Separation from the old PSVR 1 era. It looks like a very interesting game, very stylized. This one should be interesting. Titanic, The Space Between. This one is another time travel adventure, but this one puts you in the sinking Titanic. Very exciting. Chernobyl again. This one I'm really hyped for. They took real life locations and superimposed them into the game. So this means you'll be able to explore Chernobyl, but without picking up any radiation sickness. Wandering in Space. Very interesting looking sci-fi looter shooter. Another new announcement that's hot off the press is Arcade Paradise, the flat screen game that has now been officially modded and is coming to PSVR 2 soon. BRSO, a realistic looking bare knuckle fighting game. The facial animations on this one make this one stand out, I think. This is going to be a good one.
Welcome to VRSO Bare Knuckle Fighting.
Grim. This one is basically Rust, but in VR. So this one's going to be quite an exciting one too. Grimlord, a brutal physics-based combat game. This one is going to be like Dark Souls in VR. Looking at the footage here makes me want this right now. Looks incredible.
This is the monastery, a place of many secrets, a place to hold us lords in chains. But you are an outsider. I offer you a way out of here.
Hellsplit Arena.
You are our last.
This again looks like Dark Souls in VR. Very similar to Grimlord in the aesthetics. Lots of magic and lots of physics-based fighting. You love to see it. Number 41, Undead Citadel. I've had my eyes on this one for quite a while now. The combat and the physics and the graphics all look superb. Number 42, Into the Darkness. Imagine if Boneworks and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners had a baby, and they threw in some futuristic espionage. Number 43, Arcanage. This looks so good. The environments look fantastic, the combat, particularly the melee combat, look great. And I think it'll just be cool to look down at your hands and see a three-fingered alien. Number 44, Behemoth. I wish I knew more about this game, but ever since we saw that first trailer, it has piqued my interest. This looks incredible.
There is no victory to be had here.
Number 45, Ghosts of Tabor. This looks really good. It looks like a brutal militaristic shooter. You can't trust anyone.
Trust no one. Well,
Number 46, Stride Fates. Anyone that's played Stride on the original PSVR 1 knows why I'm excited about this one. I always said that Mirror's Edge would be cool in VR, but this one looks like Mirror's Edge with the amp turned all the way up to 11 and they've ripped the knob off. Metal Hellsinger VR. This has only just officially been announced. This looks really cool. It looks like a cross between Doom and maybe Pistol Whip. Number 48, Cold. This is the polar opposite of Superhot. This game has only just recently been announced to be coming to PSVR 2, thanks to the developers over on X. Number 49, Subside VR. Again, this one's hot off the press, only just newly been announced to be coming to PSVR 2, thanks to the developer over on X. This is a realistic scuba diving underwater exploration game. It looks phenomenal, realistic looking graphics and fantastic water physics. Number 50, Metro Awakening. This is one of the most important games to be coming to VR. This is an iconic first-person shooter game. If this one sells well, this could lead to a whole slew of classic first-person shooters coming to VR.
Its warmth, its energy.
And so there you have it. There's 50 PSVR 2 games, and every single last one of them are going to be roguelites. Haha, no, just kidding. Most of these will be coming out by the end of the year, and some of them will be coming out in 2025. And most of them have been confirmed over on Twitter and X. I've asked the developers directly, and for the most part, I normally announce on Twitter if these games are coming to PSVR 2. I more often than not get this information before the big PSVR 2 YouTubers. So if you'd like to come and follow me on Twitter, I'll leave a link in the description, and you can find out when these games come out with me. Thanks for dropping by. See you in the next one.